But yeah, you gotta have a year's supply of cranberries and green chilies, and if you got that, you're pretty good.
You- that sounds like a recipe for just like chronic diarrhea. Just only those two things, peppers and cranberries.
Well, the rest of the stuff you can get when you want it, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
but those things, and I live in New Mexico. Okay, green chili is life.
I see.
Okay, green chili is life. It really is. Um, and it's so weird when I travel. Like literally, I cross the border, and it's like it's hard to get good green chili. You're like, really? Like, is this the only place in the universe where we have green chili with everything? And you're like, yes, apparently it is. And you go off somewhere and you'll get really excited, like, oh, they have a green chili, and you'll like, can I have a green chili with that? And it'll be like this really kind of tiny, just kind of sad little green chili. you're like, it's like I'll imagine that it tastes like home, but
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, where I live, like, there's different sorts of green chilies, and everybody knows what sorts of green chili they like, and
See. It's like
Hatch.
a whole big it's a cultural phenomena.
Yeah, I mean, literally the whole state, like Hatch green chili during green chili season. All the grocery stores in the state will have burlap bags of fresh green chili, bushel bags of green chilies, and they will have a green chili roaster out in front of the thing.
Mm,
And you go buy a bag and you get them fresh roasted, and then you take them home.
nice.
And then, like where I'm at, there's some people that grow, some farmers that I know that they got into growing like chili for the dye. But
Oh.
they grow lots of chili, but it's for dye. But then since they do that, they on the side they'll always plant some Big Jims and some Barkers and stuff, some good green chilies, and then they'll bring them to the farmers market. And so I always go get. I mean, my family, we usually get like 3 to 5 bushels of green chilies. You get them fresh roasted, then you come home and you eat like 10 of them because they're so good and fresh.
Mm.
And then we freeze them. We like lay them out on sheets, um, and then on cookie sheets, and then we freeze them. And then once they're frozen, then we just start putting them in a bag.
Okay.
And that way you can pull one out of the freezer at any time, and it's already roasted. And so, like in the summer, you can just like pull one out, peel the what little skin is left on it, and just have like a green chili popsicle, which is really good.
Mm. You know what I feel like I would do? I if I had all those like green chilies in my freezer, I would probably like take one out and like cut it open and like or microwave it first, like a little bit, or warm it up in a skillet or something, and then like slice it open and just put some like cream cheese and like some like little piece of
Oh
meat
yeah,
in or something.
a
That would
great meal is just to take some out, thaw them out. Well, yeah, thaw them out a little bit. You can take the seeds out. You take the tops off and pull the insides out,
yeah.
and then just kind of open them up a little bit, just split them open, and just put some like cheddar cheese. Just like fill your
Mm.
plate, just like cover your plate in green chilies, and then like cover your green chilies in cheese, and put it in the microwave for like a minute, and that's really good.
It sounds really good.
Or you can do the same thing in a burrito, like a green chili cheese burrito is just like always good. Do the same thing but wrap it up in a burrito. And but yeah. And then you can get more complicated from there, but that's really as complicated as you have to. You like take them out, put them and cheese together until the cheese, and then warm them up until the cheese is melted, and life's good.
Mm. You're all
And like the
robot-y.
hamburgers, like green cheeseburgers are a staple. Like you keep track of what restaurants have the best green chili cheeseburger, but if you can't get green chili on your cheeseburger, it's weird.
I can.
Green
Yeah,
chili
I
stew,
prefer. I like to have like chilies and spicy peppers and shit on my hamburgers.
yeah. I'll do jalapenos and stuff, but it's not as good as a green chili. They're just not as tasty. Like there are things hotter than a green chili, but
Yeah.
there's no pepper that taste better than a green chili.
Hmm.
But
Well,
now if you like really hot stuff and you're ever in Amarillo, there's this little hole in the wall place that makes they call it the hamburger from hell. It's so good. it's, it's
It's got like habanero or something. Like, what is it?
it's got like it's a pretty big burger, and then they cover it, and then they put like grilled jalapenos, and different grilled peppers and onions and cheese, and then kind of like this big on top of it, and then they put like a habanero sauce. Yeah,
That sounds good.
it's pretty tasty.
It sounds so good that even though I just ate, I'm kind of feeling hungry.
Yeah, I haven't had one in like a couple of years. I need to go. It's just like this weird little hole in the wall place. But whenever I have time and I'm in Amarillo at the right time of day, I always go there. But that doesn't happen enough.
Hi, Katie.
Hello.
Yeah, hot peppers are good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was funny one time when I was in college. Like, there's a university here that's where I ended up going, and they put on a chili eating contest, pepper eating contest. And there was a whole bunch of people that entered, and it was so funny because literally there was like a $50 prize or whatever if you won, but they got to the point where they had to give a $50 check to 6 people because out of all, there was 6 people still left, and we'd eaten all the peppers.
Oh, so it's like, well, we can't keep going, so you're all winners, yay!
Yeah, it was funny. Like most people like bowed out. I think there were 6. We just
They vastly underestimated people's tolerance to spicy food.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Like, yeah. What were you expecting? Like this, like the big thing they had was a regular habanero. But what's funny is if you work up to it, like they do like this day, they start like really hot peppers and work up the Scoville units. When you work up that way, it's really hard. If they had started at the top, still more people would.
You are going so hardcore robot right now.
Well, better now.
Still kind of sound like a robot.
Okay,
Still robot.
am I robot?
Well, it's like on and off. It comes in waves of robotic.
Am I a robot with my camera off?
That's better.
Maybe better.
Okay, well, yeah, but no, that was funny. Actually, the hardest part was they gave you like 30 seconds to eat each pepper they gave you,
Oh, okay.
and that caught a few people. But the hardest part was that after you'd eaten like a full run of the grated peppers, like you started getting full, and you're like, I don't know if I can eat anymore. You're like, it was actually like quantity that started getting more difficult than the actual like heat. It was funny,
I feel like redecorating.
but yeah.
But
You guys will pretty like, but it was one of the like I don't haven't done particularly substances, but I'll tell you what, the high after eating that many hot peppers was pretty good.
What kind of high is that? Like,
I don't know, but it was good. Like I felt really good after that. I was like that's like this is cool. Like this is stuff
It's
that,
like-
my brain is doing something weird, and it's kind of cool.
it's like the rest of your body is like desperately like trying to like stay alive, so you just like
Well, I guess it's like endorphins, and there's probably some other.
just like releasing adrenaline because your body is just like. "Ah!"
I don't know. It wasn't. It didn't feel like adrenaline. It was different. Like no, the whole body felt good. Like it just like
Oh, okay.
everything felt good.
You had
It
like
was-
a big body high from like eating peppers.
yeah, like it's like the mind was clear and the body felt good, and it was sweet.
You know, it's interesting. There's a guy that does a interview show like on YouTube where he basically like the format is they eat wings, and like each question he has like a spicier and spicier, like more intense hot sauce, and lots of people it's like wow, like this is like I'm reaching enlightenment now. Like they start to like by the end of it, like he gets them to like answer like such weird probing questions because they're like so distracted by like the hot stuff. It's pretty good.
It's a pretty good stimulant. I've done it before, like competitions and stuff. Like I've ate a really hot pepper. Give me a nice endorphin rush. Usually I just eat them but they do get addictive. That's what's, you get a good, just the right level of like heat in your salsa or something, and you can't stop eating it. Like I'll just drink this stuff. And the more you drink, it's like the more like you just keep going. Like it really is. It's kind of, it's like self-sustaining, and you're really sad when you quit. You're like really just stop eating it.
It's spicy food is right on that verge of the pain pleasure like dynamic, right? It's like right in the right in the middle.
I don't know. Some people claim it's definitely pain, and I mostly claim it's mostly pleasure. Although I suppose there's technically a little pain. I don't know.
Some people don't distinguish between the two.
Like it's not unpleasant pain. It's not the unpleasant sort of pain. It's just sort of like the kind that just
Tattoos are.
What?
Tattoos are unpleasant. Don't get tattoos in.
He's a pussy.
I can't even hear what he said.
Yeah, neither can I.
Don't get a tattoo. They're unpleasant.
Oh yeah, I got a tattoo in my first, like right near my hip or whatever, and that skin was like super thin and sensitive. Like I was so surprised, like actually, like about how much it hurt, but I had to be like super tough about it. So I like tried to joke with the guy who's doing the tattoo. I was like, has anyone ever like, tried to like punch you in the face like irrationally while they're like you're tattooing them or whatever? And he got like upset at that. Like he didn't he didn't get like my sarcasm. Like
A tattoo.
I probably won't take your advice, Taylor.
All right, get a tattoo. Then
I'm super good at taking advice.
then ignore the other people's advice and take painkillers beforehand.
well, just don't take anything that's going to be a blood thinner because
Right.
don't get drunk. Yeah.
I've actually been plotting for like a couple of years. Like I have one I want, but I've scouted out. I think I found the artist I want, but he's in Albuquerque, so one of these days.
You what, Neptune?
A wiener tattoo on your eyeball.
You get a wiener tattoo on your accordion.
Oh yeah. See, Ken and I we're supposedly going to get married, and he never sent me that picture of his accordion dick. I mean, what the hell? Everyone else has seen it. See, Neptune, I just think it's not going to work out at this point. It's unfortunately it's falling apart before it even began.
What's he trying to do?
I don't know. Trying to hook up with Ken?
No, I'm mostly just sad that I don't think I have any green chili in my freezer because my freezer's new.
That is a sad, sad day.
I got it since the last green chili season, so I'm kind of impatiently awaiting this year's season.
It must be tough.
It is.
You're what? You're black?
Okay, I'll put just hand me those. Here you go. I didn't have that.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I was looking for different shoes.
So you can sit down somewhere
No,
else?
because I don't need to.
Oh, that sounds good.
WD-40, that motherfucker. What was that?
Must be
I didn't want
Audripus.
to annoy you guys. It's always lovely how much you're annoyed when I go outside.
That door is insane. I've got
Yes.
that one's like out of control.
No one's sneaking into her house at night.
I was gonna say that's how I know when people show up. They're like, I might or might not have siblings who have keys who are inclined to, like try to sneak up on me. So if being lazy makes it harder to sneak up on me, I mean, what's the cons of that?
Yeah, keep the money.
Okay, I will stop then asking you about the things so that you can sort out your feels on things. Okay.
I don't know, do you want to hit it?
Once you've seen a dog fighting a lobster with a spoon, there's not much left to see.
These nuts.
Oh, I'm starting to fall into like a little bit of a food coma right now. I might need to go to bed. Yeah, I'm gonna go for now. If I can't go to sleep, I might come on later, but I think I might just fall asleep.
Ta-ta.
Oh boy.
So when I came in, Audra, were they talking about you getting a tattoo possibly?
Possibly.
Is that what I missed?
That was a short part of the conversation, but it did occur
Oh, okay.
for sure.
So would that be your first one?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
I've been pondering it. I was like,
What were you thinking about getting?
so I've got this kind of design I've been sketching out a few times, and like I'd get an artist to do their rendition of kind of the idea, but just to play with. It's basically it's kind of looks like a couple of like desert dune. It looks kind of like a couple of like desert dunes with like two suns kind of in the back, kind of above them,
Hmm.
and or slash moons, two celestial like round things,
Yeah.
and then the words then the words like over the top of the dunes, like they're little marching letters. It says the last line of the Litany Against Fear from Dune.
That's cool.
Only I will remain, or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Where would you want it?
Browns and oranges. I think on the inside of my left forearm,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
so I can see it.
Yeah, I have mine on my right, but I like it. I think it's a good spot. And then I have one on my back, but that's like a bigger piece. But I'd still like to get more. I just don't know how far I want to go with it, so.
Yeah. Well, I've pondered it for years, but I'm just like super lazy about getting things happening. So,
Yeah.
and I wanted to make sure it's like I gotta, because I have ideas in my head, so I'm like, all right, I gotta find an artist that I think is gonna come up with something that's kind of like the idea in my head, only better.
Right. Yeah. It's important to take your time and find
Oh yeah. So,
like a good artist for sure.
I'm not gonna get a cheap one. I'm gonna get a, I'm gonna get a good
Yeah.
one. And that's another thing is I'm like, been waiting until I'm like, all right, I have some money to burn.
Yeah, the one on my forearm was a birthday present. So I had known who I wanted to go to for like quite a while. And then so for my birthday, my husband was like, oh, I'll just get you your tattoo. So
That's cool.
yeah.
No, my sister kind of wants one, and for what she wants, like the artist I'm looking at, I think would probably be good. So I kind of, and like I said, I found the artist. I know more or less what I want. I'm probably gonna go look at it this summer or something.
Yeah.
Into the summer. But and then once I get an idea of like his work and his prices and stuff, I might get one for my sister. Get her a
That's cool.
Christmas present or something.
Yeah.
But I've got several ideas. Like if I like it, then I've got a couple ideas of other things that would be cool.
I know.
Have you seen those? Like, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Oh, so like the other thing I think would be cool, and I haven't decided whether I'd want it like on my leg or my arm or something. But I don't know if you like in Rome, there's this big column that's got this kind of linear like relief carving of like it's a big narrative like relief carving, but it just circles around this pole.
I don't think I've seen that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I can't think of what it's called right now, but I think doing that sort of a thing, like in that style, like a linear relief carving style thing that just like circles my arm.
Yeah.
But then where the relief carvings are more or less kind of like events from like my martial arts career.
Oh, cool.
I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, that's a neat idea.
I'm still looking for an artist that I think would be good at that. But
yeah,
I think that would be really cool.
There's one all the I just hate it because I find these artists that I really really like, and they're so far away though. I mean, I found a couple cool ones in San Diego, but like the one on my back, I went to LA to have done, which for me is like a 3-hour drive. And I had to go to it took me a while because the longest I could sit was like 3 hours before I was just done. And so I had to keep going back for follow-up appointments. But Like really, really cool ones that I like. I mean, they're out of state and everything.
Right. Well, the one, like I said, the artist I found is like 4 hours away, but for me, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
But I get around. I'm all over the country too, so I'm actually open to all kinds of different places. Like I'm in Vegas probably a couple of times a year, and I figure there's a bunch of good artists out there.
Yeah.
I get down to like the Austin area. There's probably some good artists down there. But no, actually the guy in Albuquerque, which is like I said, it's only 4 hours away. Like he's got this really cool kind of watercolor style that just it's like I basically like everything he does. You're like those are all just like yeah, those are all cool.
Yeah. The place I went to actually for the one on my forearm, it's in San Diego, and the girl that owns the shop does a lot of the watercolor tattoos. They're so pretty. It's just I didn't want anything in color on my arm, but if I had wanted color, I would have definitely booked with her. She does like really gorgeous stuff.
All my lunch meat has gotten slimy, and so I don't want to eat it. It's probably okay, but it's just yeah,
I'm just gonna see it out.
it doesn't look good. It looks slimy. I don't like slimy meat. So why didn't you want color on your forearm? Just out of curiosity, just because?
Yeah, well, the one on my back is in color, which I don't mind, but I just wanted something that like wouldn't clash necessarily, like if I with whatever I was wearing, or I don't know, I figured if I just did the black, it would kind of just
That makes
work
sense.
better that way. But
Yeah, I've thought about like there's a lot of just like typographical tattoos that would be cool too.
yeah.
Yeah, I was in here earlier and I was, talking out loud to Lightbulb about all the things that I could possibly have for supper and why I'm going to sit here for like 30 minutes because I don't know what I actually want. I know. I found that it's kind of the same thing. You're like, all right, there's a bazillion things that I can think of.
See,
So it takes
I have the
me
exact
forever to like parse down and be like, no, that's the one I want first. Like if I have to pick one, that's the one.
really? No, I have the opposite problem where it's like I would like to get more tattoos, but I can't think of. Well, I mean, I can think of things, but nothing that feels really like significant in any way. I would get
Right.
something just because like aesthetically I thought it looked nice or something, but yeah, I have a hard time coming up with ideas.
Yeah, I like things that have layers. Like it has to have layers, mean I have to like it. But yeah, there's still more possibilities than
Yeah.
And then whenever I'm trying to reduce possibilities, inevitably, or parse through the possibilities I've thought of to see which ones I like the best, inevitably more possibilities come up. So you're like, darn, I'll have to sort through those later. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I want that one. Like, I used to like I also go through like just make sure just to test things out, and because I occasionally get bored and Sharpie markers are within reach. Like I've drawn it on a couple of times and
Oh yeah.
kept it on for a few days and like I really like that. Like,
Yeah.
that makes me
I like having it there, like because my brother has one in the exact same spot I do, and he's had it for years. And a bunch of people were telling me like, "Oh, are you sure you want to get it in a place that's so visible? And don't you want it someplace so it's easier to hide it?" And I'm like, one of the things I want about it is that you'll be able to see it. Like when I look, I want to be able to see it, And
yeah,
so
that's
my
me.
brother's
I
like,
be able to
"Just
see
do
it like to remind me. I'm like Like, because this one, like, say, it would be my, I guess, for lack of a better term, it's like that's like my reminds me to somebody like get off your butt and start moving thought. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And it would be really cool. You're like, okay. Like, it's pretty, and it's like externalized permanent SI. You're like, okay, I can't forget that because it's on my arm.
Yeah, the girl that was tattooing me, I was kind of nervous going in because the one on my back super easy to cover. I mean, it's big, but it's really easy to cover up. And so I told her I was a little nervous getting it, and I asked her, like, have you ever regretted any of your tattoos? Because she was just covered in them. And she's like, no, the only ones I ever regretted were some like dumb ones on my legs that I got because I thought, oh, who's gonna really like see that? Like, they didn't really matter. You know, she would just like let friends tattoo her, people learning and stuff like that. And she said those were the only ones
Right.
she ever regretted. So
Yeah, no, I've got a friend, and she's got a few. They crack me up. There, she has very nerdy tattoos. She's an English major, so she has like a typewriter and a stack of books. But she loves them, and she's all. But I know people that just kill me. They're like, you know, turn 18 or something, and like, go get a tattoo, and they're like, I'm gonna go get a tattoo, and they go get something really like
that's what I did for my first one.
silly.
Yeah. For the one, so the one on my back, the big one, is actually a cover up because when I was like 20, I thought I just really want to go get a tattoo. I just want to do it. So I went in and I had some like dumb little hearts put on my shoulder, like little colored hearts. And like 6 months later, I was already over them. So it took me like a few years, but I finally had them in and had them covered up with the big one I did. So
Me too.
yeah.
See, I'm actually surprised. I'm not surprised, but I'm proud of myself for not doing that because I'm perfectly capable of that.
Yeah.
They're not.
What, randomly deciding to go do something because you're like, you know what? I've decided I want to do this, so I'm going to go do it before actually like, and then just go do it. I
It's
do
got
that.
an element of permanence that we are uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think that's why I've avoided it. Like, I'm not saying it was likely, but it's possible. But because of the permanence, I've spent lots of time debating. Like, what do I actually want? Because it has to be awesome.
But you've also got inferior FI, so good luck figuring out. Everyone says, get something that means something to you. It's like, okay, Budweiser.
Right. You're like, all right, yeah. Yeah, the short answer to that question could be way too many things. Not because of an excess of FI, because of a lack of it. Well, there's lots of things that mean something to me. I have a hard time telling the difference. And to me, like, one of the other things is like I think of it as like artwork,
Yeah.
rather than something else. Like, it's not just a thing. Like, I think it's like, to me, like, I almost probably treat like, you know, commissioned paintings. You're like, all right, I'm getting a piece of art. It just happens to be on my arm, or
Right.
wherever.
Yeah. I agree.
It's not a tattoo. It's a piece of art. I'm sure I spent a lot of time debating, you know, deciding what kind of. But it's the good kind because you can't lose it.
If or when I get another one, I think that that's a much better way to go about it, is choosing a piece of art that you like than trying to figure out what the fuck means something to you, but that you could sum up in a picture and that you want forever.
Yeah, like I like the idea of there being layers to it, like some sort of thought or something.
Neither of us.
Particular one, but it still has to be art. Like, layer one is definitely the art.
Yeah.
Because like I can think of things, like I've thought of things like, all right, I would really like something to do with my Taekwondo career, and, you know, like, and there's a lot of really simple, dumb versions, but then when I finally came up with like the idea of the column, the, like, Greek style column narrative, I'm like, that's a cool way to do it. That's an art, that's art that I would like, that also does that thing. And that I think probably that I do kind of, that has some sort of meaning, but it's also art. Like if you can find both, but it takes a really long time.
Yeah.
Well, I found Xanax and a discount
Do what?
coupon at the local tattoo shop. So that's how I got mine. It turned out great. One thing tattoo artists love is drunk 18-year-olds coming in the morning with a fistful of Xanax, being the morning shift tattoo artist to buy you a discount tattoo. That's a recipe for a winner.
Yeah, that's all the odds are in your favor there.
So you did get that one covered up, or that was the cover up?
It's pretty
No,
bad
no.
if that's the.
No, I've talked about a cover up, but it takes up enough real estate that they want it's like a 4-session cover up.
Yeah.
And oh my god, if I can't commit to a tattoo, I can't commit to a fucking 4 sessions. I'll get half it done.
That's what I had to do on my back. Well, I think mine back took 3, but
The last guy I talked to about it said, what did he say? He said 4 sessions, like $250 a session.
yeah.
I was like, well, no. Can we crank it all out at once? He's like, no, dude, you'll bleed to death.
That'd be a long, yeah. You're right. Do you have good pain tolerance, Audra?
Yeah.
I'm kind of a baby. I'm a weakling, but I hate letting it show. So even like when I was getting my forearm done, she was like, you're doing so great. She's like, is this even bothering you? You look like you're perfectly fine. And like in my head, I'm dying, but I'm just like, I think it's my FE or something. I hate like expressing that negative, like kind of, I don't know. It's just weird. Like I hate showing like discomfort. Like I didn't want her to know how much discomfort I was in. So I was like hiding it really well. But normally I actually don't do well with pain, but I just like
There's
it's
like a
worth it.
particular sort of like weird pain that's not quite that's in the middle somewhere that's kind of annoying, but like acute pain, yeah, it's not really like it hurts, but yeah, I'm not compelled to react to it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really easy to like disconnect my brain. There's usually a reaction, like I step on, like if I get hit or something, like, or stuff. There's always this reaction, like there's a pause and it's like, oh, ow. I can get angry about pain if like somebody does it to me, but
Yeah.
but yeah, the actual pain tolerance is pretty good. People inflicting pain tolerance is low. If I inflict, if it just happens, it's like, yeah. It's both good and bad. Like, it's it would be normal to have, I think, more of a like pain avoidance instinct, but I don't have a very good one of those.
I do. I hate that.
It's just like when I started fighting when I was a little kid, like I didn't know anything, but I literally fought for 5 years before I ever learned really any sort of defense.
Oh,
Because-
really?
Really, I didn't care if I got hit, and most people didn't seem to hit that hard. Like
Yeah.
basically, my strategy was hit them more than they hit me. And I remember people telling me like, they're like, what amazes me? They would just kind of be like, there's like these, like some of my instructors, some of these guys and stuff. They're like trying to like put into words. They're like, you're really tough. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really later. Looking back, like I see more of the difference, but I didn't realize until honestly it was until I started teaching more people probably that I realized that a lot that people don't actually Like most people don't approach fighting that way.
Mhm.
They approach first of all with an instinct of avoidance and not getting hit. I'm like, oh.
Oh, you ever seen? Well, you've probably never seen a bus stop. People at a bus stop.
I've seen bus stops. I travel.
See like a bus stop fight where two people are like,
Uh, yeah, that's actually it's interesting because I've had to train so many people now. You know, you get students in and you the first thing you have to do is you have to like break over that avoidance or at least kind of and some people it's really hard to break. Like some people it's weird. Like you break them of that and then suddenly they love fighting. Like it takes a while to get them into it, but once they're into it, they're into it. And then some people never like it. I don't know. That also took me a while to understand. You're like, oh, some people don't like this.
I like
They
it.
will never.
Well, I think it's good for. What was my theory? I think it's good for extroverted intuitives who got any in the first or second slot to either do shit like fight and be in some shit so that they can grow if they're thinkers, but not if they're feelers.
I feel like you know, with a thinker, it's like honing something. Like it's not going to get out of hand.
Well, because thinkers, so NE thinks of all the possibilities, and a thinker is more likely to think of all the technical possibilities, when really you just need to realize that you won't die from experience. But introverted feelers are more likely to internalize the bad feels, and it just seems like FI is cumulative in a way. I'm not, because you don't really have extroverted intuition, or you don't have any intuition. Oh yeah, you've got no.
I'm just related. Yeah. Well,
FI.
it's those weird people that like get angry. I kind of I've seen it in people. I've actually I've done some thinking about like observing all the different types of like fighters people and the way they react to things and trying to relate that to probably their because the people that you can piss off are the best. I mean, because you can make them do anything.
Good fighters.
But
ISFPs are good fighters because FI and SE.
yeah, I'm thinking of some people that I know some people I've trained that are probably like ISFPs. They're the ones that usually don't want to, and then they really like it once you kind of get them hooked on it.
She's of all the people that I've fought, Katie's like the hardest.
Yeah, they're hard to fight. Like there's people out there that is not like skill level or like size or whatever. They're freaking persistent.
They're mad. They're persistent. And stronger than they should be.
Yeah.
Since she's a girl, you can't just knock her the fuck out.
I've always been super confused about that. Like it's like.
Well, because most girls can't shoot Desert Eagles either.
I know, but growing up it was weird. And then I finally like, okay, I got it. My favorite is when I have like teenage boys that I'm teaching or something and training up and they won't hit me. And it's like, okay. And it's like, it takes so much effort, like arduous process to get them to hit me. And you're like, all right.
Well, it's, I don't know. It's,
slows things down.
I mean, it's kind of admirable, right? It's like, they're having good manners.
It's kind of admirable, but at the same time, I'm just like, all right, let me logic this for you. Like, let me explain it to you. How this does not apply, and then you should just go for it and quit arguing with me because I'm right. I finally settled on the one that works the best is if I'll repeat several times, I'm not a girl, I'm a black belt. And do some other stuff or like, go hit the wall or something and be like, look, it's okay. Literally, you're not going to hurt me. It's virtually impossible. And And then I always wonder later, I'm like, is it good to teach them to hit girls? But I'm like, but then I feel like they probably won't apply that universally. It was just a win for me to talk them into hitting me. Are you talking? Because you're muted.
I know. I'm talking to Katie.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to.
I could hear you. We were on different.
That's fine.
We sometimes get in this extrovert introvert loop where I'm saying, do this, do it, and it's the same thing. It's like do A, because to me it's like, oh, A is right here, but like she doesn't know if I'm saying A, B, C, and then we get in this loop, and then we're like, okay, fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think intuitives take a lot longer to like get kind of figure out fighting, but once they figure it out, they're pretty good at it. But they're the ones that surprise you. You're like, you don't get it, and then like 5-6 years later, you're like, suddenly you're like, whoa, like where did that come from? You're like, that's it.
Yeah, I think that I had I guess I was never avoidant or anything. It's not like I came out of my cocoon once, like I was forced into a fight, but I didn't really fight until I did, and I was like, wait a fucking minute. I'm good at this.
I think probably the extras, like for me, it was like I loved it from the beginning, more or less, but it did take me a while to get like technically good at it, I guess. But I was always pretty good at it. But then there are people who are just probably not type 8s, I guess would probably be a good way to describe it, that they just don't quite get it, but then suddenly they kind of come out of nowhere. Like they're more introverted type, or more not as in your face types, and but when they get it, it's always really cool.
That must be why there's so many INFP MMA fighters, I'm realizing. Did you know that that's a thing for them?
I hadn't thought about that, but I was like, I could see that.
It seems counterintuitive to me.
Well, I can see it, but yeah, they're the sort that would get into just to be like, I'm going to do this because I don't know. I think they're probably more likely to be that type that doesn't enjoy it at first, that it gets into it for some reason, and then eventually like kind of realizes they like it and are pretty good at it.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, they do it because like they want the experience and because they've got the emotions and shit. Not because it's not like, okay, I need some money and there's this tournament coming up. Maybe I can win a fight.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, okay.
There's some sort of internal reason they do it. Like they want to learn to fight because they think it would be useful, or they want to not be scared or whatever, or they're angry and they want to go do some stress relief or whatever,
I have a secret theory that, but yeah. So anyways, the rest of that I don't know if I think it, but I think that INFJs and ENFJs have extroverted intuition, but should not do that. They should have nice, cushy lives.
It's always weird to like contemplate that. I mean, it's not as weird now, but realizing like some people don't like this, don't want this, and will go through life like more or less as
but this
the opposite, and you're like that freaks me out.
Where did that come from? I'm gonna throw it away. I was gonna go to school, then I got high. Well, I'll talk. Welcome to Talking
Okay, you
People. This is Eric, and I'm going to tell you about my life. So, I've got a girlfriend, super fucking exciting, and she's the same type as my ex-wife, which is great because I needed a mom. And it's my birthday, just turned 46. Happy birthday, Eric. And fuck you, homie. And I like to debate.
I was almost asleep, and then you did the arm thing, and I burst out laughing.
That's all I got, though.
I can't see you, but I'm assuming that pause was like for a fake bong rep or whatever.
No, it wasn't. It was to control my body in a weird way.
The big inhale where he holds his breath.
No, are you thinking of the Nick?
No, whenever Eric.
Oh,
The bug-eyed cough preposition. Okay, do it again. I missed it.
yeah.
So many blankies.
1, blankie 2, blankie 3. That blankie's Jewel.
One of them's me. I was like, I haven't been looking at the screen. I'm like, I've been talking to people, but I realized that I can't see them.
No, you've got a picture.
I have a picture? Oh, well, I don't have a picture on my phone. On my phone, I'm a blankie.
And you're not muted. There's 2 blankies that are muted, and there's Jewel, who's also muted. She could easily be mistaken for a blankie, however, she's not. I think that the other blankies are probably Blub. Oh, yeah, Light Bulb's always a blankie. I forget that she has no etiquette. And who's the other one? Who's the other blankie? Courtney. Who is it? Courtney. Just kidding, Blanky. Sorry if I was rude. If you're Blanky that, or if you're Courtney that, then fuck you, Blanky.
I'm on camera, I dare ya.
Get you a dose of FI. Oh, it's about time to go to pizza.
What time? 52?
Said 52, nigga. We got 4 minutes. Until it's allegedly done. Allegedly. What?
Allegedly. I don't know what it is, but.
Oh, yeah.
It's the cookies in the easy bake oven.
Yeah, I ended up deciding. I ended up just eating cheese. Light bulb, FYI.
Jeez, did you put anything with it?
I had some olives out of a jar, and some Kalamata olives and cheese.
Ugh, I've done that.
We can fix that. We can make it better.
But I put steak in the fridge to thaw out for tomorrow. So.
Is that a euphemism? When you put steak in the fridge, does it mean you actually like butt sex?
No, it means I took the steak out of the freezer and put it in the fridge so I can eat it tomorrow.
But did you use the fridge's back door?
No.
Carolyn,
Although
because I want to throw my balls at you. Who just did the Nick? It was either the Raw Room or it was you, Audra, because everyone else is muted and it wasn't me.
I guess it was. What was it? No.
Somebody asked me what's wrong.
It was actually like like after drinking this Perrier, it was the exhale after
What?
that.
When are you gonna
There
stop?
wasn't actually any FI in it.
When are you gonna
No.
stop being retarded and join us back in the ENTP type A's?
What, you don't think that I can drink
Because
Perrier?
we don't say Perrier. If we drink it, we certainly don't go Perrier. It's like, what are you drinking? Water. Nothing French. The only thing the French drink is defeat and failure, kind of like your brother. Her brother only drinks defeat and failure too. These little
Some
bit.
people like that.
All right, it's time for me to go get pizza. I'll be back later. Love you. Eat plenty of cheese, and don't forget to. Oh, I already did that. Don't forget to find the right tab to close.
Okay, who's there now to talk to me? Because I can't see you.
I can't talk. I'm too tired. I just want to listen.
Well, you have to at least prompt me to get into some sort of long-winded story if you want me to talk without anybody to talk to.
Let's see. My brain gears are slow.
I understand. Mine were earlier, and then I slept for like 4 hours, and now I'm awake, and will be for a while.
I literally was almost asleep and thinking I should turn this off. And then he comes in.
I did that last night. Like, I had it on, and then I like laid down, and I was like sleeping. And then like Nick like pops on. He's like, "Oh, yeah." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, I was kind of asleep." I'm like, I honestly have no idea what I probably said, and then I was like, I should probably turn this off now.
Yeah, I want to. I don't know. I guess it doesn't help if I say talk about whatever you want.
We've already been through how that works.
Yeah. How about?
It was funny because I was thinking, based on that, I have something to say based on that previous conversation. It was funny because after all the things that I said and like ran through, I ended up going to the fridge to start something, and then I looked in the fridge and there was cheese that I had not thought of eating because I'd forgotten it was there, and then I just ate that.
That was me the other night. I don't remember when. Oh, it was when Taylor and Courtney and Katie were fighting, and Eric was in the room, and I couldn't figure out what to eat, and I ended up with a bag of cheese. And then I was like, 45 minutes later, I'm like, okay, this can of soup. Where's the last place you went on vacation?
I don't remember. Let me think. I don't know that I've ever been on a proper vacation.
Well, how about like a fun activity trip?